gonna fight NSR with that tiny guitar of yours?
Of course! And I'll win too! Wanna know why?
Sure.
Because my tiny guitar is awesome!
To me, what makes the game super memorable is great music. It's why I'm on board for any rhythm game or any game with a heavy emphasis on its soundtrack. Heck, the music is the most iconic part about most Sonic games, and it still baffles me to this day that the franchise doesn't even have a rhythm game spin-off yet. But with that being said, No Straight Roads caught my attention immediately when it was announced. I mean, a rhythmic action game? On paper, that sounds like it could be a creative and fun experience. But in execution, this game is a creative and fun experience. The game's story revolves around the two main characters, Mayday and Zook, from the indie rock band known as Bunkabed Junction. After the leader of NSR, Tatiana, bans rock and takes away the backup energy from the people of Vinyl City, Zook and Mayday set out to take down the elites of NSR and make their way to the top charts. The game's story is fun to follow because everything is presented so well. Not only does the game have a unique style to it, but the animations and the cutscenes are so fluid and well done. They even added unique poses for the 2D stills. I like how some of the cutscenes even have 2D animations, and the same goes for the commercials and advertisements around the hub world. Speaking of the hub, this is one of the very few games I've played where I find the NPCs memorable. They have some cool character designs and funny dialogue. Also like how they transition into their 2D forms. By the way, my favorite character design in this game is DJ Subatomic Supernova for his music.
We'll ripple to the rims of the universe and back.
The gameplay, however, is a pretty basic 3D action game. You can jump, attack with one button, shoot music notes at enemies, but only the flying ones and bosses, and transform certain objects into turrets. You can of course upgrade all your moves in the hub menu after you acquire more fans, which is your currency. The game even lets you enhance your abilities with stickers and special moves you get after beating a boss. The rhythm doesn't seem to mostly come from the player's input, but more from the area itself. Every obstacle and attack from the enemies and bosses follows the rhythm of the music. This gimmick definitely makes parts of the gameplay feel more memorable, especially when I got to know the songs better. A major move for me is the parry system. This move is what makes the action feel more like a rhythm game, and it feels so satisfying to pull off to the song. The OST to this game is a masterpiece, one of the composers I recognized immediately from the hub world music. By the way, that song was You Can't Stop Me from Aces Wild, and if you haven't heard of Aces Wild, play it. It's a really hype 2D beat 'em up. Each boss represents a different type of musician, and the game's soundtrack does a fantastic job of representing that variety. Not only do you get the genre of music each boss represents, but in the middle of the boss fight, the game switches between a rock version and an electronic dance version of the full song. The game even lets you pick which version of the song you want to play for the whole way through after you beat the boss. It's also cool that in the hub area, they let you see the different types of concerts you're hijacking. You know, for the heck of it, I'm just gonna list my top 3 favorite bosses in this game. Number 3, DJ Subatomic Supernova for his music.
We'll ripple to the rims of the universe and back.
But for real, this is a visually awesome first boss. Number 2, Saiyu. I'm kinda surprised they didn't go for a Vocaloid voice for the song, considering she's meant to be a parody of characters like Hatsude Miku. But other than that, her song is really good, and her boss fight has a very funny gimmick. I don't want to spoil it here. And number 1 is Yunu. This boss fight is epic. The classic music makes this boss feel so climactic, along with the crazy visuals going on, like the giant mother raising the concert stage and turning into a giant spider. Every other boss in the game is an honorable mention, especially DK West, which is an optional boss, and he plays differently from the rest of the game. His fight is an actual rhythm game, and it's pretty difficult. I had to get a friend in co-op mode to play the song with me to make it easier. But hey, this Malaysian rap song is just jamming. And as I mentioned, there is co-op mode, but I don't recommend the game to be played this way. The camera gets way too stretched out for both players, and sometimes I have a hard time seeing where I am. And the game gets really buggy in co-op mode for some reason. Like one major glitch where one of us couldn't move, and we can only get around by jumping or dodging. Outside of co-op, another glitch that happens to me is every time I try to look at my collection, the UI just blacks out. I'm playing on the PS4 version, so I'm not sure if this is happening to everyone else who plays this game. There are other glitches in the game, but I'll cut Metronomic some slack, considering they are a new indie studio. And the director of the game has acknowledged some of the bugs the game has, and that they are looking into them. The director has even replied to my tweet pretty fast concerning the co-op bug. Now that gives me a lot of hope for this game. But all in all, the gameplay to No Straight Roads is nothing special. But everything around it is. The presentation, the story, the characters, the music, all of it is fantastic and makes the game an awesome experience the whole way through. I'm down to do another playthrough of this game, and I look forward to whatever Metronomic makes next. Well, that was a fun game. That was a good old time. I mostly, I enjoy games that are like very short, or like very short experiences. Kind of something very similar to Sayonara Wild Hearts. I think that one's also obscure. I'm probably gonna have to review that one too. But like this was a fun experience. Sadly, I hope the co-op gets better. So hopefully they patch that sometime. And there is also like something I didn't mention in the review. There's a fun little mini game called the little mini game is called Master Wolfie. It's a fun little rhythm-based shooter where you every time like the certain part of the music happens, you move, and then certain part of the music you shoot. I like that. But anyway, I recommend this game. Sadly, it's on the Epic Store, not Steam, if you're on PC. But I guess I recommend it on other platforms. But yeah, that's it for today. Logging out, everybody.